Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Sita Ramachandraya Namaha. Ram Vijay, Chapter 12 onwards. As Bharat set out for Chitrakoot, he was followed by Vashisht, Kaushalya, Sumitra, Shatrughna, Sumant and all the people of Ayodhya who were very anxious to see Ram. They all arrived at the river where Kuhak had his hut, and at the request of Bharat, the fisherman conveyed all the people to the other side of the river. Lakshman, having seen the people, thought that Kaikeyi had sent them to kill Ram and began to let off arrows at them. But Ram stopped him, saying that they were not his enemies. Shortly after, they all reached the Parnakutika of Ram, when the prince embraced them very affectionately and asked his mother how the king was doing. Kaushalya, overwhelmed with grief, could not utter a word when Vasishtha broke the sad news to him. He deeply mourned for his father and remained mute for a while. Vasishtha condoled with him to perform the last ceremony of his father, whereupon he went to the river Gaya and performed the ceremony. Kaushalya, Sumitra, Vasishtha and all the people persuaded Ram to return to Ayodhya and take charge of the kingdom, when he said, "I am always true to my promise, faithful to my wife, and of a firm resolution. I cannot therefore break the promise given by me to my mother Kaikeyi in fulfillment of the promise given by my father to her, and return to Ayodhya under any circumstances." Bharat said, "If you do not come to Ayodhya, I will go somewhere else and pass my days there until you return to the city." Ram, stroking his head, replied, "Bharat, do not be disheartened. I shall return to Ayodhya in 14 years and 14 days. I therefore wish you to go back to the city and rule there on my behalf." Bharat said, "I am very glad to obey you, but I shall not feel well without your company. I therefore beg that you will kindly let me go to Nandigram and stay there for 14 years and 14 days. Ram replied, "If you will not be happy in Ayodhya in my absence, I shall let you go to Nandigram." "But," said Bharat, "if you do not return from the forest within 14 years and 14 days, I shall commit suicide." Ram, having been pleased with his brotherly feelings, gave him his padukas and sent him to Nandigram, where he lived as an ascetic for the said period. Ram also gave his padukas to Shatrughna and bade him to go to Ayodhya and rule there on his behalf. Shatrughan returned to Ayodhya with Kaushalya, Sumitra and all the people who had accompanied him. After some days, the Brahmins of Chitrakoot said to Ram, "Your wife is very attractive. If you stay here with us longer, the demons will come here and devour us. We are informed that the demons Trishira, Khar and Dushan will shortly come here to carry off your Sita. We therefore request you to leave this place at once." Ram replied, "You need not be afraid. Let all the demons on earth come here. I shall kill them all and defend you." But the Brahmins had no faith in what Ram had said, and hence left the hills with their wives and children. Soon after, Ram removed to the Dandakaranya, and on his way to the forest, he killed a demon called Virat. Virat was a Gandharva called Tumbaru. One day Kuber, having called him in his presence to sing for him, the demigod got tipsy and went before him. Kuber got enraged at his conduct and cursed him, saying that he would be a demon and would wander in the forest for 10,000 years, but that he would be released from the curse when he would be killed by the hands of Ram. As appointed, the Gandharva was killed by Ram and released from the curse. Ram spent 13 years with Sita and Lakshman in visiting holy places and many rishis. During his pilgrimage, he visited the abode of Atri Rishi, where he worshipped the three-headed god Dattatreya. Then he visited Agastya Rishi, who was very powerful. The story of the power of the Rishi is as follows. There lived 3 demons called Atapi, Vatapi and Ilval. They were blessed by the god Shiva with the art of enchantment, by means of which they devoured the innocent Brahmins. Vatapi became food and Ilval became water. Atapi became the benefactor and invited every Brahmin to partake of the food and water. The Brahmin came, and as soon as he ate the food and drank the water, Atapi cried aloud the names of Vatapi and Ilval, who, having responded to the call of their brother, tore off the body of the Brahmin and came out. Thus they killed every Brahmin and ate his flesh. One day Agastya Rishi was invited by Atapi to partake of the food and water. The Rishi complied with his invitation, and as soon as he ate the food and drank the water, Atapi cried aloud as usual the names of his brothers. But to his great surprise, they did not respond to his call, as the Rishi burnt Vatapi in his stomach. Ilval, who had escaped from the belly of the Rishi, and his brother Atapi, assumed ferocious forms and began to run away, when the Rishi cut off the head of Atapi. Ilval escaped and mixed himself with the ocean, when Agastya drank off the whole ocean and killed the demon. Ram stayed with Agastya for a month, and during his stay there, he was presented with an arrow to kill Ravan. From the Dandakaranya, Ram set out for Panchavati. On the road, he saw a huge bird called Jatayu, who asked Ram who he was. "I am Ram, the son of King Dashrath," replied Ram. Jatayu said, "I am the son of Kasha, and my uncle is Suparna. I am called Jatayu. Your father was my great friend. I helped him during the battle which he had fought with Shukra, and therefore he called me his brother." Having embraced Jatayu, Ram proceeded on his journey and reached Panchavati, where he lived with Sita in a Parnakutika built by Lakshman. Lakshman gathered fruits and roots for Sita and Ram, which they ate and passed their days there. He guarded the hut every night for fear of the demons, and he himself remained without any food. One day, Lakshman went near a thicket to collect fruits and roots, where he saw a deadly khadak, that is sword, descending from above. The weapon fell where he was standing, and it having looked sharp and powerful, he tried it on the thicket. But to his great astonishment, the thicket was cut into two parts, and there flowed a large quantity of blood. Lakshman was afraid that he killed some ascetic while meditating in the thicket, and in order to satisfy himself about it, he immediately went to Ram with the khadak and informed him of what had happened. Ram said, "Brother, do not be afraid. The blood which flows through the thicket is of a demon called Shambhari. This demon is the son of Shurpanaka, a sister of Ravan. He was meditating in the thicket, unobserved, with a view to get a weapon from Shiva. The god had sent the weapon for him. If the weapon had gone to the hands of the demon, he would have annihilated the whole of the universe with it. Thank God that you have got it. You take particular care of it." Lakshman was glad at this information and cheerfully attended to his duties. On the same day, Surpanaka found in her dream that some calamity had befallen her son, and having been awakened, she, accompanied by 4 demonesses, immediately started for the forest to look for her son. She wandered in the forest and at last came to the thicket, and seeing the blood there, she searched the whole wood and at last found that her son was cut into 2 pieces. As soon as she saw her son, she fainted and cried violently for him. The other 4 demonesses condoled with her, and immediately after they burned the body of Shambhari and went in search of the enemy who had killed the demon. They traced Lakshman from his footprints, and in order to revenge the killing of her son, Surpanakha formed herself into a beautiful damsel, and taking with her the 4 demonesses, who also formed themselves into very good maidservants, she went to Lakshman and said, "I have travelled all over the earth in search of a husband, but I have not found a young man as beautiful as you. I have become mad after you, and unless you consent to marry me, I shall not live. I therefore implore you to take me for your wife. Do you not see how I look? Can you get elsewhere quite a young girl like me?" Lakshman was not at all captivated with her charms, but she, having much insisted upon his giving her an answer, he replied, "I have got my brother and sister-in-law. There they live in a hut. I cannot do anything without their consent. I shall go to your brother," said the demoness, "and get a letter from him consenting to our match." So saying, she went to Panchavati with her maidservants and said to Ram, "I like your brother from the bottom of my heart. I have made up my mind to marry him, and he has also promised me to take me for his wife subject to your approval of the match. I therefore pray that you will kindly pity me and give me your letter or any other sign signifying your consent to our marriage." Sita was moved with her manner of address and requested Ram to comply with her request. Ram surveyed her from head to foot, and finding her eyeballs upside down, he knew that she was Shurparnaka in the form of a human being. Ram therefore said, I have no objection to give you my consent, but I shall write it on your back. How can you do it? She replied. I feel bashful to show you my back. It does not matter, continued Ram. There is no one here. At last, Shurparnaka told Ram to write his consent on her back, which the latter wrote and sent her away. The demoness hastened to the place where Lakshman was standing and said, You see, your brother has consented to our marriage with much pleasure. If you like, you may go and ask him about it. I am not a liar, you know. He has given me no letter or any sign, but he simply told you to marry me. That will not do, replied Lakshman. I must have a letter or sign from my brother signifying his consent to our marriage. Shurparnaka, having known his mind, showed the letter written by Ram on her back. The letter stated that she is the sister of Ravan and that he should at once cut off the nose and ear of the demoness. Lakshman read the letter and having seized her by her hair, flung her down and cut off her nose and ears as directed by Ram. Then she and her maid servants assumed their original forms and fled for fear of losing their lives, screaming hideously. Listening to her yells, Trishira, Khar and Dushan came to help her with 14,000 demons. Look at my nose and ears, she said to them. There live 3 human beings, 2 males and 1 female. The man who called himself Lakshman has disfigured me at the instigation of his brother and sister-in-law. You must now go there and cut off their heads, so that I may drink their blood and refresh myself with it. Trishira, Khar and Dushan, having thought it below their dignity to go and fight with those human beings, selected 14 powerful demons and sent them to Panchvati with Shurparnaka. But Ram cut off their heads with 1 arrow. Shurparnaka fled in alarm and informed Trishira, Khar and Dushan of what had happened, whereupon they marched against Ram with a large and powerful army of demons, but they were also killed by the prince with his arrow in a moment. Shurparnaka then fled to Lanka in consternation and showing her nose and ears to her brother Ravan, informed him that Trishura, Khar and Dushan had been killed by Ram with 14,000 demons. Ravan was greatly alarmed at the sad news and called his uncle Marich. Here we complete chapter 12, 13 and 14 of Ram Vijay. Shri Ramachandrarpanamastu. Hari Om.